Hi there, today I will be discussing on HTML5 Canvas and drag and drop features. First let me introduce myself. I am Mohit Turkar and I have been working with Mindfire solutions since 2012. I work around HTML5, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, Node.js, MongoDB. You can connect me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google+. My email ID is mohit3@mindfiresolutions.com. So first I will be discussing on HTML5 Canvas and then we will discuss on HTML5 drag and drop features. So HTML5 Canvas is a container for graphics and it provides a 2D drawing platform within the browser. It only uses JavaScript and HTML. So to manipulate your shapes drawn, you can use JavaScript. HTML5 Canvas it uses a bitmap system, so everything is drawn as a single picture. Changes if we wanted to change anything in Canvas, then we need to redraw the whole picture. There is one more way to draw in browsers, that is SVG, that uses the vector graphics. But today we are not going to discuss on that. So HTML5 Canvas is supported by all the major browsers: i9+, Chrome, Firefox, Safari and Opera. Talking about Canvas features, we can draw shapes, circles, rectangles, polygons, curves using HTML5 Canvas. We can fill colors, we can create gradients, patterns, we can render text, we can manipulate a set of pixels, we can copy images, we can export contents of a canvas to a static file. So when your drawing is done into Canvas and if you wanted to save it, we can save it as images. And this is how we can use HTML5 Canvas tag. Here we are giving ID as my canvas, height and width we have assigned, and then there is a message. So if your browser does not support, it will display that your browser does not support HTML5 Canvas tag. Then this is the JavaScript code. Here we got that element using ID. Then here we are using that getContext method and passing 2D as parameter. 3D parameter we can also pass, that requires different way of drawing. So here we're gonna discuss on 2D context of Canvas, and then we are applying the style, and then we are doing CT's fill rect. So 00 is the starting coordinates, and then worth 50, 75 is the width and height for that rectangle. These all are basic methods for HTML5 Canvas. Fill rect. Using fill rect method, we can draw a rectangle that uses current style. X, Y, width, X and Y is the first coordinate, and then width and height we need to pass as parameter. Then a stroke rect method, it is almost the same, but it draws the outline for rectangle using the current stroke style. So fill rect will fill the whole rectangle, and the stroke style will fill the outline. Clear rect also uses the 4 parameters X, Y, then width and height, and it clears all the pixels within given rectangles. Then arc, by using arc method we can draw arcs. Using fill text method we can apply size. We can do texting on a canvas. We can apply size, colors and font, but we cannot apply padding, wrapping, margins as we can do in CSS. So there are some limitations. So this was the basic for HTML5 Canvas. There is one code library is available there in GitHub to convert HTML5 to Canvas. So if you wanted to prepare a screenshot of your HTML page into a Canvas image, then you can use this library. Maybe you would like to check out the documentation for this in GitHub. Then there are some popular canvas frameworks also available like Fabric.js, Kinetic.js, Easel.js, Paper.js. So if you do not want it to write code by your own, then you can use such cool libraries, frameworks over there. This is that Fabric.js, everything is drawn here under the canvas element. You can move it. We can drag it. This is the text and the animation. So if you wanted to choose, if you are confused about this framework, if you wanted to get an idea how to choose your framework, then there is a comparison given over here. Among the different canvas frameworks, you might find it useful. If you wanted to dig more into canvas, then there are many good tutorials are also available. I found HTML5 Canvas tutorial. HTML5 Doctor is good one. HTML5 there is one other size also we can draw, like quadratic curve, Bezier curve using HTML5 canvas. Here we are getting that context. After getting 2D context method, we are getting that object, and then we are applying this method quadratic curve too. So it bends the curve towards a single point. So let me show you how the quadratic curve looks like. This is that quadratic curve. So this is the control point 1, then this is the starting point, and this is the ending point. So using many curves, we can create real world shapes. So it uses a start point, control point, and end point coordinates. Where the Bezier curve uses the 2 control points, so that your curve will bend towards the 2 points. This is how a Bezier curve looks like. This is the coordinates for control point 1, control point 2, and then this is the starting point and then ending point. Drawing images using canvas is really simple. We just need to get that element, use that get context method, and then that image, if your page has an element with id screen, then we need to get that element, and then we can draw using like this draw image method we need to use in order to draw images in canvas. Let me walk you through an example, a basic example of HTML5 canvas. Here I have written a canvas. I have added a canvas tag. Then this is that image. One image is canvas image is id element. Here I have not passed source. In this element we will draw the image. So here I am simply getting that canvas element, then using 2D get context method I am getting that context, then I am applying methods. Begin path will initiate the path, and the starting point for our path will be the 170 80. This is the starting coordinates. Then Bezier curve to method is the same. We used to draw the Bezier curve method, where one is control point, and this is the control point, and then a starting point, and then ending point. So using Bezier curve method, this is that our canvas element, and using Bezier curve method we have drawn we have drawn many curves. If you are not following what are the points, and at last if you just wanted to make your path as close path, then you can simply write context.close path and it automatically uh, add one curve add one line in between your starting point and end point. So let me show you now how it will look like this. Line width is the outline width we have given, then fill style is that color. Context.fill method we have used to fill it. Stroke style method is the method to apply that this color and to fill style, and then context.stroke method will actually render it on browser. Now this is that our canvas element which we had created using JavaScript. Now later part of the code, what it is doing is it's simply getting that canvas and inserting it into image element. So here we have we got that canvas element, and then we are using here two data URL method. So here we got that image data, and then in image element source attribute we are just assigning this data URL. So actually it would be image data canvas image data. So you can see this is that canvas element, and using that data URL method we got our canvas drawing as images. So if you wanted to save it, we can save it as we do. Okay, so this was the basic for HTML5 canvas. Now let me talk on one more cool feature of HTML5 drag and drop feature. So before HTML5 we were using some jQuery plugins to provide drag and drop functionality, and if we are using any other API, then definitely it would have it would be a bigger in size, and that will cost in performance issue. So using HTML5 drag and drop, we do not need to include those API, and HTML5 natively provides this feature, drag and drop. All the major browsers, Internet Explorer 9 Plus, and all the modern browsers have support for drag and drop feature. Those are the drag and drop events. Drag start events fires when we start dragging an object. So when you actually start dragging an object, at that point if you wanted to perform some operations, you can write that code inside drag start event. Then drag enter event, if you are dragging your element and you just your draggable element just came over the target element, at that point drag enter event will get fired. Drag over event is most of the time it would perform same as drag enter event does. Then drag leave event, when you will leave your mouse, at that point drag leave event will get fired, and at that point you can perform operations like some styling, some CSS you can apply at that point. Drag event fires whenever you drag. Then drop event fires when you drop that draggable content or droppable or target element. Drag and event fires at the end of drag. So if you have if you have registered both the events, mouse move and mouse events, all the mouse events such as mouse move, so at that time drag events will get priority and it will get fired. So these were the basics for drag and drop. Let me show you a basic example for HTML5 drag and drop. So in HTML I have one div element that I am making it droppable. I have added on drop event here and on drag over event here. Then I have one image that I am making. This image I need to make as draggable. By default images are draggable. Images and anchor link by default it is draggable, and we do not need to make it draggable. But if you wanted to perform some specific operation on when drag actually starts or when drag is happening, at that point you need to register. At that time you will find useful to register on drag start events. So when on drag start event I have written a function drag. This is drag function. Here I am just setting data, and I am just setting the target element ID. So it will set draggable as the ID in text. So when we will drop that element, at that point we can use this information to get that element, and like we are doing here on drop event. This is that drop function. Here we have written that prevent default, so that browser won't perform a default operation, and it will so here we are using that get data method. Text, we are passing text parameter, and we are in data we are getting that ID, which would be draggable. And then after that getting element ID, after we have that ID, we are using that get element by ID method just to get that element, and then we are inserting inside the target element. Let me show you how it is. This is that droppable div, and this image we have made is draggable. So if you are dragging it, and if you stop dragging at this point, it reverts at the same position, because other part of the page is not droppable. But when you drag it here, you can see it changes a style cursor, and when you actually end dragging here, then it allows drop, because we have written that allow drop, it is allowing to drop here. So this was the basic for HTML5 Canvas and drag and drop. Thanks for watching. Thank you.